Hello there, Patrick here with something new, pretty much. It's like a new podcast-like thing. Probably a podcast, because there's not really any type of video type of thing anyway. Well, at least not until later on when I can finally, record gaming footage and all. So, what's pretty much new to this channel, even though I've pretty much haven't posted anything on here in like 5 years, 4 or 5 years, I want to say. Well, I pretty much just want to do podcasting, I guess. Well, more or less, yeah, podcasting, maybe a little video essay here and there whenever I get a chance to record gameplay footage. So, other than that, I'm pretty much going to use this format to pretty much review games, anime, movies, sometimes TV shows, but mostly, video games and anime and movies. So, yeah, prepare for like this year, 2020. I'm gonna give this a try, see if it works out. Probably do have some episodes in the works. I think one's actually finished. And I think it was called a review on Bunny Girl Senpai. But I'm pretty much gonna add the finishing touches and probably post that later on, like way later on, probably like next week or something. But other than that, there's plenty of obscure anime that I pretty much want to review, and plenty of known anime too, especially the ones I've pretty much skipped over because I don't know, never really found that much of appeal on until I've seen like snippets of them on YouTube. In which that's pretty much how I've been getting my information on anime nowadays. I mean, I used to like watch other anime YouTubers like Giguk and I think it's Giguk, and then Anime Man, because they would read off or pretty much show the next anime coming up within the season, especially with Anime Man, where he'll go like list by list on which anime to watch. Well, for me to watch, honestly, for him, it's pretty much his interests, and he pretty much just say, yeah, I'll probably watch this, I probably won't watch this. Well, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll give this a try. I don't know, I think that anime is not for me, maybe I should try something else. In which everybody has their own taste in anime. With this channel, I'm not trying to, be an elitist. Hopefully I won't be. Not saying that, the other YouTube channels are elitist. Actually, no, they're actually pretty good guys. They're pretty good people. I don't know them, but by the looks of their channels, they are pretty good. And they've been around longer than I have. Or they've been reviewing anime longer than I have. But I want to be a different type of anime reviewer where I'm literally am just the guy who just want to sit down next to somebody and just talk to them about this particular anime I've seen. Sometimes I want to discuss it with spoilers attack, but other than that, I will keep it spoiler free if it's an older anime, or especially if it's more obscure, or if something that that's already finished and nobody never gave it a chance, then I'll do that. And then the spoiler version of that, I'll probably call that an anime discussion. Pretty much like this, how this will be actually, because I'm just gonna pretty much bullshit the entire podcast video thing. And so then in terms of video games, I'm pretty much just going to be vague about everything. And in terms of story, I'll probably do snippets of the story. But other than that, I'm pretty much just going to go through the mechanics and how the game pretty much plays. And then with movies, pretty much the same as anime, just be vague, hopefully. And maybe have a spoiler section, but probably bring a couple of friends on here eventually. But other than that, for the time being, it's just going to be me. And I'm pretty much going to review anime, movies, and video games. So, since all that update thing is out of the way, well, how about I just bullshit about anime for a little bit, just tell you my interests, and, what type of anime I'll probably will wind up reviewing. So, my taste is pretty much going to be pretty much what any elitist probably will say about my taste, probably shit tastes, because I'm not really that into anime that's made above, that's made before 2005, unless it's like Dragon Ball. I mean, unless it's like Dragon Ball. I think there's some like Dragon Ball, Naruto, because in Naruto was made. The manga came out in 1999, and the anime came out in 03. But it didn't come out to the West until 05. So it kind of I mean, it kind of does count as something before 05, but I think those are the only ones I've technically have remembered watching. I have watched like, Rave Master. I wish I can give that one a second chance if I ever like find a way to rewatch those. I think there was some anime from like the 90s, somewhere like that, I probably have watched and liked, but I probably won't remember because it was like back in like the 2000s. I was like a child then, so there are some anime that's post 2005 that kind of I'm like about. Other than, there is some like Holiday and Goo where it's actually hilarious, but the animation style is, an average 2000s anime. But I believe that actually came out pre 2005. I think that was like 2003, 2002. I may be wrong about that, but whenever I get to Holiday and Goo, I'll probably talk about that because I haven't seen that in a while. But in terms of what genre, pretty much like harems, romantic comedies, plain comedies are pretty much one of my favorites. In which, if you ever wonder what's my favorite anime of all time, it's probably Konosuba. Like Konosuba, probably Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. But then again, no, I actually would prefer Konosuba because I will watch that forever and still laugh my ass off. And Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, there were some snippets where I'll actually laugh my ass off. But and I've seen plenty of comedies like recently too, and nothing. I mean, they're insane, but they won't beat Konosuba. Like if there was ever like a season 3, I'll be hopping on that. Like once when the movie comes out on like DVD or something or Blu-ray, DVD's been dead for about a couple of years. Well, on Blu-ray or something like that, or it's on some type of streaming service, I'll hop on that because I fucking love Konosuba. It's hilarious. Like, it's insane. It parodizes the whole isekai genre. It parodizes RPGs, and I don't know, to me, it's a lot of fun to watch the anime, especially in English dub, where they actually instead of like directly translating the jokes, they just somewhat made up their own jokes while translating. Not really translating, but keep retaining the jokes from the Japanese version, but they also have their own twists, which is kind of what I like about some English dubs, especially when it's handled by Funimation. And say what you must about Funimation, what they have done last year, but they still have some good voice acting talent there. Because you still have some good voice acting talent, especially with Jamie Markey, Monica Rial, Josh Greel, Austin Tyndall, Alexis Tipton, who's pretty much my favorite voice actor. Actually, is Alexis Tipton. I don't know. I mean, I barely know why. Maybe it's because I like her voice whenever she voices anybody. Because I think the first time I heard her voice anybody was probably in Prison School. And Prison School, I think it's either Prison School or something before that. Because I know this was before Dragon Ball Super came along, and she voiced Trunks in that one. Because she was like a sound-alike for Laura Bailey. Not funny enough, but I think my first time hearing her voice was like Prison School, maybe Rosary Vampire. But then again, I'm trying to forget Rosary Vampire. Not that it's a bad anime, it's just oof. Had a rough time watching that one. Um, so like, Funimation has like has a good voice talent, but yeah, like how things were last year. Ooh. But anyways, that's you know gone. It's all in the past. So now I'm just watching whatever version is given. If there's an English dub, I'll watch the English dub. If there's just the Japanese dub, then I'll watch it subbed. In which majority of the time, yeah, I'm probably going to watch something subbed over dubbed. Because there'll be times when a new anime comes out, and it would just be, just being subbed, and then the dub version doesn't come out till like another 3 or 4 weeks to like a couple of months. So, majority of the time, I'm watching sub. Because, well, the English, sometimes they'll simul dub some things. Like Fire Force, in which I'm just watching it subbed. Because honestly, I don't know. I just got used to watching it subbed. That once I saw the dub version, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just stick to sub. Because sometimes the dub can be behind an episode or two. But Fire Force, I think I've heard like Fire Force is literally like updated, and it has finished already, along with the sub. So I'll probably need to like finish up on Fire Force so I can give that a proper review. So then, like back to my favorite genres. But yeah, my favorite genre is pretty much harem comedies, romantic comedies, shonen battle anime, or pretty much just action adventure / battle anime. But then again, I had like a small hiatus from shonen battle anime until I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and then that kind of got me back into the battle anime, like shonen battle anime. It's so JoJo is so weird, and I really do want to make a video on that. I probably will in the future, probably a retrospective kind of thing, because I did thought about making just individual like videos of each and every part, but I think that it deserves like a retrospective thing, like a review as a series whole, in which I probably will not do until I get done with what was it, part 5, and then when Stone Ocean gets announced. Because right now I'm watching part 5 in English dub. I have been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in English dub. Mostly because why not? Because why not? Even though the English dub has changed some of the stand names, which I'm still confused why, but also I know why, because copyright, but also I bet half these bands don't give a damn about, the bands being mentioned. Because hell, like in season 2 or in part 2, there's a character named AC/DC, and you still pronounce AC/DC. It's just that, it's spelled ESIDSI or something. And instead of, AC/DC, and, ACD, and then there's, cars, like, the Pillarmen. Except for, Santana, Salviento, in which I bet Santana wouldn't be that pissed off, because there's a lot of guys named Santana out there, so I don't think the artist would get angry or would call copyright on that, because, it's his name. His name is Santana. But I can understand, because, they're paranoid about, the naming. But seriously, some of the namings is kind of weird. Kind of like, with part 5, Golden Experience is Golden Wind, but I still like refer to it as Golden Experience, even though the English dub version is like Golden Wind. I think even in the Japanese dub, they call him Golden Wind, and then because I've seen like some scenes with Diavolo where he summons his stand, and it's supposed to be King Crimson, but in Japanese it's Emperor Crimson. Like, even in Japanese, he's still calling it Emperor Crimson. So I'm assuming that that's Diavolo. Diavolo's going to call Emperor Crimson, but uh, I'm alright with the stand names, with the the new stand names. But I'm still like, okay, well, why not just use the original instead? Like they even got Notorious B.I.G. and I don't think anybody would actually get mad or that pissed off if Biggie Smalls actually had some representation. They actually had representation in an anime. I mean, hell, they'll probably get some people to actually watch it. Or get more people to watch it because, oh shit, Notorious B.I.G. is in it? And he's a stand? And Notorious B.I.G. is in it and has a stand? Like, that's great. Like Aerosmith? Oh my god. Like, he was mentioned in an anime? Because that's kind of what got me in part 2. It was like, oh my god, AC/DC. Okay, I'm loving the musical references already. Then you have Killer Queen, because he's named after Queen, and that's Kira Stan, Killer Queen. Then he has Heart Attack, Bites the Dust. It was like one of the things I love about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the music references. There are many other reasons why I love that anime, in which I'll probably get to whenever I make that retrospective video. I'll probably just bring a friend along too, just to like talk about it, because it's something to talk about. So pretty much my main genres is all those. I will probably be reviewing a lot of harems, I'm also a huge fan of ecchi. Well, not really a huge fan, but just ecchi harems they come together, and there are some comedies that have ecchi in it, and hopefully it's not too weird to like ecchi, but it's like it's there. I mean, there are some anime where it's fucking weird, and sometimes it's fucking pointless to have ecchi in it, like Senran Kagura, where the Senran Kagura and maybe High School DD, where they actually went overboard on the ecchi. But actually, Senran Kagura even went more overboard. It's actually a lot worse when it comes to ecchi, because because every battle ends whenever a girl is stripped naked. And then with High School DD, it's kind of the same thing. It's like every time a girl gets defeated, she her shirt bursts open and shit, and you're just like, wait, what? And then you see a dude gets defeated, he's just knocked down, clothes intact. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's like, oh wait, what? Because a girl will get attacked by a blunt whip. Say a girl gets attacked by a punch or something like that. She instantly gets defeated. Her clothes would be burst off and everything. But then when the dude gets hit by the same attack, he just gets knocked back and then gets knocked out. That's pretty much it. I mean, not that I'm complaining about that, but it's come on, guys. You gotta at least be a little bit more realistic with that. And same with Senran Kagura, where the girl literally gets defeated by, being stripped naked. But, to me, Senran Kagura series, I've never been that interested. I probably would watch it, but maybe, I don't know, some other time, someday. I mean, I only checked out the second series because I was like, oh shit, they actually have a Senran Kagura anime. And pretty much dropped it after a couple episodes in favor of other anime out there. So my reviews will pretty much be like this, podcast and it'll be about anime and video games, like I said earlier. In terms of video games, I pretty much prefer, action adventure, first person shooters, platformers, of course. RTSs rarely, and then RPGs here and there. I'm a huge fan of Persona since Persona 4. I have played Persona 2, and I've seen gameplay of Persona 1. Barely seen gameplay of Persona 3, because Persona 3 to me looks like a different, looks like I don't know, just a downgraded version of Persona 4? But then I probably pissed off a lot of Persona fans by saying that. And I really do want to get into the Shin Megami Tensei series whenever they release Shin Megami Tensei 5. Or is it 4? I believe it's 5 that's coming out to the Switch. And it's been about 3 years, almost 3 years, since they announced that game, and there's nothing's come out of it. I mean, Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE is coming out really soon. At the time of this recording, it's coming out in like 2 weeks, in which I can't wait because I missed out on the Wii U version, and I had a Wii U. It's just I never really had that much interest at the time, and that was like sometime before Persona 5 came out. And after Persona 5, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play the series again. So I played Persona 2, and I liked it, but then, I never had a chance to, play through it again. I never got a chance to play Persona 3 nor 1. 1 looks archaic as fuck, though, because I've seen people play it. And then Persona 2 Part 1 is only obtainable through the PSP version. Through the PSP, and I don't have a PSP or a Vita. I had a Vita, but that's not the seller because nobody plays that damn thing. It's actually how I played Persona 4. Funny enough. But yeah, whenever I get to the Persona games and Shin Megami Tensei games, I will post about them too. My first ever video game review probably will be something from this year. I would love to review something from like a year ago to like a couple of years ago. Maybe an old game here and there. Especially games from my childhood, but we'll see what happens then. But movie-wise, action, adventure, and comedies and sci-fi. Movies like Interstellar, and then some Adam Sandler movies. Well, like You Don't Mess with the Zohan, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler back when he was in his prime, if you want to say. I mean, he was actually pretty good in dramas too, but him in his prime was something. Except for You Don't Mess with the Zohan was not really in his prime. I think the dude was like in his 40s when he did You Don't Mess with the Zohan, which he still still funny in it. I mean, it's probably fucked up now to watch it. Like, if it came out sometime around like 10 years later, it probably will not, be aired. Like, it probably won't even be aired nor shown because it's kind of, it does show like, the Middle Eastern stereotype. And it does make fun of the Middle Eastern stereotype, and I believe it'll probably offend some people out there, unless people love to laugh at themselves, in which that's a good thing pretty much, because it's good to actually laugh at yourself here and there, and make fun of like your shortcomings and your shortcomings and your I wouldn't say longcomings, more your strengths. So pretty much overall, like, it's best, laugh at your strengths and your weaknesses, what do you have and what you don't have. And it's kind of one of the downfalls of comedy, I guess. Well, in my opinion, people probably, like, argue back. Well, you can still be funny without offending people. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But it also makes comedy sound limited. If you think about it. Like, in anime, well, their comedies don't really offend people. It's more like, with anime, they just throw a lot of crazy shit at you, and it's just straight out bonkers. Like, what they can come up with in terms of comedies. Like Konosuba, where, like, you have, a goddess who is a whiny crybaby. You have a pyromaniac, sadistic, wizard. And then you have the knight, who is a masochist, and she has shit accuracy, in which I think she did that on purpose, because she, she's a fucking masochist. She wants to get hurt. And the main character, who is pretty much, just your average dude. and it works. It works for me because all the shit that they go through, or the shit that they put the main character through, is just amazing. It's just hilarious. And then recently I watched, I believe, Norin, where it's like, that it's about like them in the countryside. Like it's about them in the countryside, and well, not them, but it's about people in the countryside, and these students pretty much just do like this crazy outlandish shit as they're farming. Like there'll be a scene where they're planting rice, and then the main character is teaching a girl how to plant rice, but then the other main heroine, is like, oops, and then, then the main heroine and the other heroine, attack, like, start fighting each other, and all the guys just gather around. And they start fighting, and all the guys start gathering around, and and they're just cheering them on, and shit. They just appear out of fucking nowhere and start cheering them on. Or like, another scene where you have the teacher just being an outright pervert, and like, he's wondering, like, why in the hell are you still even our teacher? It's like, well, my dad's a politician, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm like, well, shit. And she's like one of those, and she's like, those lonely types. She's like past like her prime. She's like 40 something, but still trying. And she's an outright, she's an outright pervert. And it's kind of funny just watching everybody like, just not beat her up, but more like she just like they just talk down to her, and she just gets mad and shows them like the horrible times of her life where she's just single her entire life. And it's like it's fucking hilarious because everybody's just like, well, damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I miss so and so. And she just go back to being her normal cheerful self. And then there's like another one where she will literally just strip naked, and then the main character just fucking beats her up or some shit. Like it's fucking hilarious. Like I would give it a watch. I mean, I tell people to give it a watch. Anyway, so that's pretty much just me bullshitting. I would bullshit about video games, honestly, because actually no, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm just gonna bullshit about video games. So lately I just been playing Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Knight. I beaten the game probably not too long ago, and I think the game is pretty good. I don't know if it's canon to the Star Wars universe. I remember like when it was announced, or when it was I think around the time of release day, I was talking to some people, and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably like a Dark Souls. They say it was like a Dark Souls Uncharted like game. I was like, how's that gonna work? Like, well, how's that gonna work? I was like, we'll see when it comes out. It's probably going to be good. And well, it's good because it's made by Respawn Entertainment, and I'm glad that Respawn Entertainment is over this project, because the last Star Wars game before that, Battlefront 2, was all microtransaction heavy until after they patched everything up and then repackaged it as something new. Well, I wouldn't say repackaged something new. They pretty much just updated the hell out of that game, and now it's better. Well, by what I've heard, I never actually played Battlefront 2. I played Battlefront 1, and it was also better as the time went on. I think by 2016, it was actually a lot better. Like, it played a lot better than what it did back in 15. But this game here is actually probably one of the better games I played. One of the better Star Wars games I played in a decade. Now, if you want to say, like, in the decade before, I barely played any Star Wars games from then. I mean, I wanted to play The Force Unleashed, but I didn't get to play that until 2013, 2014, when I was on my video game binge. Well, on my Wii game binge, because I played the Wii version, and it was actually good. Then I looked at the PS3, Xbox 360 version, and I'm like, wow, this game is pretty boring compared to the Wii version. Damn. So it's kind of like good that they finally made a good Star Wars game after probably like 10 years, probably 10 or so years. And of course it'll be a Dark Souls clone. I mean, it's not hard. It's difficult, but it's not like Dark Souls hard. Like you can beat it, you can beat it in like Jedi Master, like no time. Because that's pretty much what I played on is Jedi Master. If I ever revisit the game, it'll probably be in a harder difficulty. See how brutal it is, because it was difficult. It was a difficult journey playing through it, but it was a fun journey. I mean, at times I got stressed out, pretty much got irritated, but I had fun. Like the boss fights are great. Like every single time I fight a boss, I'm like, oh my god, this is a boss fight. Like this is a legit boss fight, especially when you face other like force wielders, like other lightsaber wielders, because that's actually the best part of the game to me is when you fight other other like lightsaber wielders. Well, pretty much anybody who's on the dark side. Which I've heard they're making a sequel to this. Maybe. I'm wondering how they're going to play out with this one. Maybe they'll have him flirt with the dark side? Kind of like how it is with this one, where they're just showing, oh, well, what happens if he was in the dark side? But I'm hoping maybe he'll flirt with the dark side. Of course, I'm probably going to be completely wrong, especially with the Star Wars faithful yelling down my ears that, no, he probably won't. And plus, this game's probably not canon, because fuck you, the books are canon. Fuck you, these books make sure of it. Which I'm like, okay, well, I'm not that much of a diehard Star Wars fan. I mean, I watched the movies, even though I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet at the time of this recording. Who knows? Whenever I do, I'll probably make a video on that. And I'll probably bring some buddies along with me to talk about it. But other than that, right now, I have not seen it yet. I just played Jedi Fallen Order. And also, I played Resident Evil 2. I haven't played all the way through. I think I'm on my second playthrough with Leon. And I put on Nightmare for some reason. Probably because I'm a masochist that way. And it's pretty much just original Resident Evil 2. It's just the same way as you play any other Resident Evil game. You have ink ribbons to save your game, and the enemies are a lot stronger. That's pretty much it. I mean, people probably play Nightmare mode all the way through, because, they're insane. They're insane or insanely good. But with me, I just played normal in the first two campaigns, and then I'm on Leon's again. And all I can say is Leon is a glass cannon. Well, no, that's Claire. She is a glass cannon. Leon just has a hard time in general playing through this game for some reason. Because with Claire, she gets a grenade launcher early in the game, and I'm just like, wow, like they literally, like, Claire has an easier time going through this game more than Leon. Leon just gets like a shotgun. And I think in the second playthrough he gets like two pistols, a shotgun, and a shotgun. And then, the SMG, no, not the SMG, and he gets like 3 pistols and a shotgun. And then the flamethrower, which I never got the flamethrower, honestly, because I cannot find like one component, which I have a feeling, yeah, it's in earlier parts of the game. I'm assuming so. But with Claire, she gets a grenade launcher, a pistol. Well, she gets her pistol, a grenade launcher, a better pistol, and an SMG. And then by the end of the game, she gets a minigun. And I'm like, wow, you're just giving Claire like all of this, all of the good shit, huh? And then you just say fuck Leon because, he's a man. He needs to go through his hardships. And I think with him, he just gets a rocket launcher and he only uses it once. And I'm like, wow, okay, thanks for the help, I guess. It's got a rocket launcher. Like, cool. I can only use it once. get cool. But on the other side, I can't wait till Resident Evil 3, which comes out, I believe, in March. Like this March, along with some other games. I believe Final Fantasy 7. Even I never played the original game. I've heard it's like one of the best games of all time. But I never played the original PlayStation version. So maybe I'll pick it up. And there's also Last of Us 2, which I played the original game, and it's amazing. So I can't wait for that game to come out. And it's going to be exclusively for the PS4 until next year when they remaster it for the PS5. I have a feeling they're going to do that because they did the same thing with The Last of Us, and that game came out in like 13, along with the PS4 and the Xbox One. But the thing is, I think it came out a couple months earlier, so it helps with that. But I waited until the remastered version came out, and I played through the PS4. So I can't wait till Last of Us 2 comes out. So I think that's pretty much it. I've heard Nintendo's making a Switch Pro. I'm hoping so, because I've been hoping for like the past 2 years that they at least make a Switch Pro. Because it's not like I'm bashing the Switch for its graphical capabilities. It's actually a really fun console. But how is it going to fare with the PS5 and and the Xbox Series X, in which those are going to be those are like supercomputers compared to the Switch. Like if you think about it, like in terms of comparison, yeah, they're like supercomputers compared to the Switch. So I'm wondering how they're gonna how Nintendo's gonna fight with this, or fare against the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Because again, they can't just keep up with, the plain Switch. Because it's to the point where it's, you kind of need more power in terms of, porting things. Because I've heard Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming on it. In which I'm like, okay, well, Witcher 3 was on it, and they kind of downgraded it a little bit. Doesn't look as good. And then, they put Doom on it, and they downgraded it a little bit, and doesn't look as good, but it plays pretty well. They do play pretty well, by what I've heard. I only played Doom on PS4 when it originally came out, so when it came out for the Switch, I'm just like, well, I have the PS4 version, why would I play it? I mean, yeah, I play it on the go, but I pretty much have no reason to buy it on the Switch, honestly. I mean, maybe one of these days I'll give it a try, but it's not until way late in the future. So pretty much, I can't wait to see what's going on. See what's going on with Nintendo. See how things will play out this year. This year, PS5's coming out this winter, as well as the Series X. I mean, Xbox Series X, which is a really confusing name for people, but Xbox is Xbox. Anyways, I think it was about 30 minutes of me just rambling and talking about shit, especially since it's an opening type of thing. Anyways, my reviews will be a lot shorter, a hell of a lot shorter, because I'll be editing a lot of things. They'll be unscripted, but I am going to be editing a lot of things. This is probably going to be unedited, because why the fuck not? I mean, yeah, no, I'll probably edit out the pauses, but in terms of it being raw, this is probably going to be the rawest any of my videos will ever get. It's going to be this is over 30 something minutes long, probably 40 now. So anyways, I'm Pat. Subscribe, comment down below about anything really. And I'll see you around this year.